Greetings, humanity. I'm Jim, and we are back to abject video gamery. I figured I would give this overlay a try again, as that might help a little bit with the visuals of this particular game. This particular game is at a closer aspect ratio than a lot of games these days. So I thought I'd give that a try. See what happens if we put it in a window. One never knows. I hope everyone is doing well. And I hope I remember how to properly use this overlay. Yes, good. Okay. That bit's in place. That's good. This is going to be a little weird because I haven't used this overlay in a little while. Also, I made a horrible mistake and mixed 3 different teas together, and so we're going to see the results of that. It's not terrible, strangely. Not terrible. We'll see if I pass out in a little bit, but that aside, as I am doing this, we are at Sunday night. It is late Sunday night, and so I have the week starting up again tomorrow, and so I am raging against the near future by once again driving myself into the ground, staying up way too late, playing adventure games, as you know, as it should be, I think. The Crimson Diamond is a game in the vein of The Colonel's Bequest from 1990. It is a murder mystery, I think. I haven't gotten to the murder part yet, but I assume it's coming shortly. And so we are just starting to get into it. We are playing a reporter who has just found herself at this lodge to try to do a story on a diamond that was recovered recently, but the lodge apparently is not receiving visitors, and it's the only place in this remote town where one can stay, so it may not be possible to do anything. She may have to go back home in the morning, but we'll see what happens. You never know. You never know. I have not gone back and watched the entirety of the last stream, but we're going to see how much I remember. I watched some of it. Okay, we're gonna load the game. Also, apologies if you happen to hear the remnants of the laundry process happening in the background. It will fade into obscurity. It's getting close to the end. We're in the lower hall here, and let me take a look at the notebook. I'm sorry, hang on. Lungs. We did this. We have a brochure. Nessa and Corvus are looking for a will. We talked to Nessa, we talked to Corvus. We went into this room where there are boots. It is a mud room, not a murder room, perhaps. There's a hose and boots and things, and we discovered in there that if you type examine instead of look at, that sometimes they think you're looking at it with this with a little loop. that you're using to magnify things. So one never knows. This is taking place in Canada in the 1910s. Talk to everyone in the lodge. Kimmy, Margot, Albert, Nessa, Corvus, Nathan, Ethan, Evan, and Jack. I haven't spoken to everyone. I've spoken to Nessa and Corvus. They're delightful people. They're the opposite of delightful people. But apparently the discovery of the diamond means that people think there are diamonds here. And so, therefore, the lodge is going to become more valuable. That is the theory right now. Kimmy is drawing a bridge. Kimmy is our friend that we met on the train. She's drawing a bridge in her sketchbook right now. Apparently that was an important detail. We talked to her. And that's all we've done thus far of the goals that we have. We have a... No, that's not it. Those are other controls. We have a map that will tell us things. We have... we are down by the front door. And we've just been in the parlor, and I have not yet finished exploring the ground floor. So we're going to finish exploring the ground floor, the first floor, and then we will do other things, depending on what happens. You got no response. This room we have been in. I forgot we had been in here. But, see, I press M, but it only brings us this. So what I need to type is map. This is using a keyboard interface. Examine the soap. That would not benefit from closer examination. Well, okay. 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 We're between the closet and the bar. Let's go to the exciting closet. I don't know why we're knocking on the closet. Aha! This is a rather large closet. You see some tools, a basket full of old rolled-up rugs, a gigantic wardrobe, and a worn cupboard. A sled, shovel, and a mop lean against the wall. A door in the east wall leads back to the main floor hallway. I'm just taking the opportunity to snoop around everywhere, as nothing terrible has happened yet. A variety of tools are hanging from nails. Jack must use these for maintenance around the house. Examine tools. Alright. Look at shovel. Shovels can dig things up and bury things too. Very versatile. Look at mop. A mop is a must for wet messes. Examine mop. Examine shovel. Look at chair. The chair is threadbare and faded. You can see why it's been stowed away in this closet. Look at sled. I swear if it says Rosebud, you fondly remember going sledding in High Park during frigid Toronto winters. Examine sled. Let's see. Basket of rolled up rugs. Here. Look at basket. It's a big wicker basket with thick handles. Look at rugs. These rugs look worn on their edges. They are tightly wrapped with twine. Search rugs. That achieves a little effect. Examine rugs. Examine basket. Look at mirror. There's a crack in the mirror. You wonder how it got there. Examine crack. Examine mirror. Okay. Look at bucket. It's a tin bucket. Look in bucket. The bucket is empty. Examine bucket. Just going to examine everything. Look at wardrobe. Biggest wardrobe you've ever seen. And now we will enter Narnia. You open it. Look in wardrobe. The wardrobe contains a stack of old cracked flower pots, a broom, and an empty keg. Examine flower pots. The flower pots are pretty dusty. You doubt they've been used recently. Look at broom. The broom is leaned against the empty pony keg. It looks like it's seen better days. Examine broom. Broom is shedding pretty badly. You can see why it has been retired. Look at keg. The pony keg is probably from the lodge's days as an inn. Yes. X keg. I think you can see the hole in the pony keg where it's already been tapped. You can use X for examine. I forgot about you. Close the wardrobe. This is what, a cabinet? Cupboard. Look at cupboard. This looks like a very old cupboard. It's worn and cracked. Open cupboard. Cupboard. You open the cupboard. Look in cupboard. There's nothing in the cupboard. Examine cupboard. Close cupboard. You're gonna come back after the murder and just feel like this one woman's fingerprints are all over everything. Everything in the house. We don't know why. The bar is over here. I'm gonna go ahead and just keep saving. There. I do like that it is intuitive enough to know kind of which door you mean by where you're standing. That's good. There's nothing anywhere. There's entrance from the bar to the dining room to the kitchen. Over here. Okay. This is a cozy bar decorated in warm hues of crimson and coral. A trio of stools are stationed in front of an elaborately curved bar. There is an oversized armchair and a striped love seat. A door in the west wall leads to the main floor hallway, and you can see the dining room through a doorway in the north wall. Gotcha. Yeah, we can do it that way. Painting. A lithographed poster advertising absinthe hangs in the corner. Examine poster. Look at chair. There's an oversized armchair, 3 bar stools, and a striped love seat. Look at armchair. Armchair. The bar stools have red velvet seat cushions and cherry wood footrests. Striped love seat looks very cozy. Look, window. Window looks out into the yard. Look out, window. Oh, you're moving to do it. It's too dark to see outside now. Look, bar. No, it's the room again. Ah, silence phone. There we go. Hopefully this is coming across all right. Let's see. I say that as I'm just sort of looking over and seeing how it's looking on the stream. Bottles. A multitude of bottles sit on the back counter of the bar containing various liqueurs. A selection of glasses are hanging above the bar. You don't have that right now. I could take a glass. I'm not going to yet because I'm not in that mode yet. Of taking everything that isn't nailed down. We're going to go this way. The dining room is an impressive sight. A massive Persian rug covers the floor, on top of which stands an elegant dining table and matching chairs. There is a buffet and a display cabinet set against the north wall, and a pair of elaborate oriental jardinières. Jardin. Jardin? Yere? Jardiniere? Are in opposing corners. I must learn more about this word. It's vitally important for the future of mankind. Jardiniere? Jardiniere? A decorative flower box or planter.
Jardinier.
Jardinier. If we assume that that's... We're speaking English. French, Canada.
Jardinière.
Jardinière. Okay. Jardinière. We'll go with that. All right. Enough of that. Enough of that. A door to the west leads to the main floor hallway. You can see the kitchen through a doorway in the north wall, and the bar through a doorway in the south wall. It just occurred to me that I probably should not be entering rooms this way. I should actually continue, because last time the parlor door was ajar, and I was able to hear things happening. So I should continue as I have been. Candles merrily burning. But while we're here, it's hard to see much of the table under the tablecloth, but you can see sturdy cabriole legs peeking out at all four corners. You admire the matching pair of large ceramic jardinières, tube line decorated with stylized peonies and leaf motifs. Okay. The tablecloth is made of white linen. The three candles warmly illuminate the massive dining table. They are set in a trio of silver candlesticks. A buffet and a display cabinet. Okay, cabinet. There's a handsome display cabinet in the corner with glass panes to display fine dinnerware. A left cupboard and a right cupboard provide additional storage. Open cupboard. You open the glass paned cabinet. Glass pane cupboard has some nice porcelain dinnerware inside. Hang on. Open left cabinet. No. Okay. Look at buffet. Buffet has 2 sets of cupboards, one on the left and one on the right. There's a drinks tray with a crystal decanter and 3 glasses on top. Look at the decanter. The elegant crystal decanter has a round stopper and is filled with the finest Canadian whiskey aged for 12 years in oak barrels. But you are certainly no expert. The elegant crystal decanter has a round stopper and is filled with the finest Canadian whiskey aged for 12 years. Glasses have stout stems and stubby bases. Don't have that right now. That's all right. I won't take them. I'll not take them. The dining chairs have arched top rails, curved back slats, cabriole legs, and stuff over seats. My God, the attention to detail. Okay. We're going to go out here. Because I realized that this is kind of important. Oh, hey, I'm really putting the extra into EGA. Yes, yes. It would so appear. This looks exactly like the game from 1990 in many ways. This is the main floor hallway. The games room is to the west. The dining room is to the east. The hallway continues to the north and south. What's also delightful is this game, I think, came out in 2024. But they're just doing it in that style. But there's been a lot of attention paid to detail here, which I appreciate. A billiard table dominates the center of the room. There's a cue stand against one wall, and a card table nestled in a corner. A door in the western wall leads outside, and a door to the east leads to the main floor hallway. I have not gone looking around outside as of yet. We may eventually get to that. I don't know. The square card table is a lovely maple inlay. Not benefit from okay. Look at billiard table. You shall check out the billiard balls in case there's anything there. No, okay. The billiard balls are pleasingly round and colorful, smooth and shiny. Yes, okay. Yeah, very well. Very well done. Okay. Let's look at this sofa. You see a wooden frame sofa with a polka dot upholstery. The cues look to be made with maple wood with nickel radius leather tips. There are a lot of things here made of maple, which makes sense given where we are. Upon closer inspection, you conclude the pool cue is definitely made of hard rock maple, prized for its stiffness and straight grain. I need to explain once again that our character is a mineralogist. And so is very interested in natural things. Apparently knows trees also. Hang on. Cue stand. Look at the stand. The cherry wood cue stand holds 6 cues. Oh, okay. All right. Look through door. It's too dark to see outside now. The matching floor lamps have fine cobalt blue lampshades and brass hardware. And they even frame this this dialogue box. Fascinating. Okay. All right. We have the study and the kitchen, and that's it for this house anyway. For the interior of the house anyhow. I don't know if we're going to go outside or not. We'll see. This is the end of the main floor hallway. The study is to the west. The kitchen is to the east. The conservatory is at the north end of the hall. The main floor hallway continues to the south. Yeah. Hello? No one here. This is Evan Richards' well-appointed study. Next to the ornately carved fireplace, there is a fine tapestry depicting a forest scene. There is a display cabinet beside the fireplace. A fancy desk with brass fittings sits on the plush carpet. You surmise this room was once used by Evan's father, as it doesn't seem to be to his taste. How we know that at this point in the game, I don't know, since we haven't met Evan yet, but you never know. A door to the west leads outside, and a door to the east leads to the main floor hallway. Closed door. Okay. The plush carpet has an exotic curvaceous pattern. Man. This is Evan Richards' writing desk. The sturdy mahogany surface sits on double pedestals, each of which boasts a drawer and a cupboard. On top of the desk is a blotter, a brass lamp with a green glass shade, a clock, and a pen stand set. My God. The pen stand holds 2 brass fountain pens. Clock appears to be broken, but it's a lovely piece nonetheless. The electric desk lamp has a green glass shade and a green ceramic base. The green leather blotter has been worn smooth from repeated use over many years. The wastepaper basket in the study is carved from hardwood. There isn't anything in this wastepaper basket. A large leather chair with heavy metal wheels sits in front of the desk. The desk is locked. Okay. Just thought I'd check. Most of these books are necessary. None of these books are necessary for you to read. Okay. Look at Moose. Although the moose head looks pretty impressive on the wall, you can't help but feel a twinge of sympathy for the animal. Look at cabinet. There's a handsome cabinet in the corner of the study with polished brass pulls. Look at fireplace. The fireplace's legs and header are carved with simple linear flourishes. You imagine it provides invaluable heat during the long winter months. There is some powdery soot accumulating in the fireplace. They keep talking about that. You don't have any soot to examine, nor do you see any at present. Oh, it's right there, but we'd have to take it. But we don't have a reason to take it yet. And I'm not currently playing this as a standard adventure game yet. So, not just taking everything that isn't nailed down yet. I might eventually. Look, poker. Poker is made of wrought iron and looks pretty sharp. Look, shovel. A lot of fireplaces in this house making me nervous. You open the glass pane cabinet. The glass pane cabinet is full of curios and memorabilia, old tarnished trophies, and an assortment of glass and ceramic vases. The trophies are old and tarnished, which might be why they are stored away. Look, curios, that was the other one. The vases are a graceful and tasteful collection of ceramics and glass. Memorabilia? You can't use memorabilia in this game. How dare you? Alright. We shall close the cabinet. Open drawer. You open the left drawer. You open the right drawer. There's some wooden blankets in these drawers. It must get chilly in here despite the fireplace. But just the fact that you can open them, it's just nuts to me, you know? Look at the window. There's a dense bush just outside the window. Not much of a view. Okay. Look under rug. You don't need the carpet or anything underneath the carpet. Look at tapestry. Although the tapestry is a little faded with age, there are still rich colors woven into it. The detail is exquisite. Look behind tapestry, because always we do this. You don't see anything noteworthy. Look, lamp. The electric desk. No, the floor lamp. No, it doesn't understand. It doesn't know. This is the first time I've run into an object I can't interact with in this way, in this game. Fascinating. Okay. We are now heading to the kitchen. I hear voices near this doorway. I wonder what they're talking about. Ah! That's fine. Listen. So what are we going to do about this? We're doing a lot of eavesdropping today. Who is this that's talking? I can't tell. What are we going to do about it? We aren't going to do anything. I think that's Jack talking to them. Is that Margot? I'm going to stay out of everyone's way and wait for all this to blow over. But what if they find... Shh, listen. If you want to talk, we'll do it privately later. Meet me in the study after dinner. Game has been autosaved. A note has been added to your notebook. Evan and Nathan. Oh, that was Evan and Nathan meeting in the study after dinner. Is it after dinner? They're going to be meeting in the study after dinner. That's the point. I've forgotten who everyone is. But apparently one of those people was Evan and the other was Nathan. That's what that tells me. Okay, well, now that we know that, that's helpful. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna knock on this door. Who is it? Come in. That's Jack. The kitchen has a rough-hewn rustic charm. The lack of decorations and fine furnishings implies that this room wasn't meant to be seen by the lodge's guests. There are cupboards along the walls and an icebox in the corner. Obviously, I cannot do a thorough search of this room right now because there is a person here. At least that's what etiquette would suggest. A door in the west wall leads to the main floor hallway. You can see the dining room through a doorway in the south wall, and there's a door in the east wall that leads outside. A strip of yellow flypaper dangles near the door. Jack is here. Okay. Okay, Jack. Jack is busy preparing dinner. We'll get dinner. Don't see anything noteworthy. We'll get flypaper. The flypaper is loaded with dead flies, frozen in various states of mortal struggle. Yep. Ew! You have absolutely no desire to take a closer look at that. Oh, darn it. Okay. Talk to Jack. Hello, Jack. How are you doing? Do you need a hand? Nah, I've got everything under control here. You go on, talk with the other folks. A note has been added to your notebook. What note has been added? What note's been added? Just that you talk to Jack. Can I bother you with your opinion about things? Like people? Ask about Evan. Wait a minute, I got my hands full. I can't chat right now. Okay, fine. I can take a hint. We will try talking to you later. We still haven't talked to Margot or Albert. Now we're going to be talking apparently to Evan and Nathan. The conservatory is a stunning showpiece of a room. Surely the expense and trouble to bring this many panes of glass this far north must have been enormous. There's a doorway in the south wall that leads back into the main floor hallway. You see a husky older man wearing beaten-up denim overalls. You see a tall, broad man with long, dark hair and a fringed jacket. Okay. Cat, glass. Any glasses? Ha 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 ha. Look, sofa. The plush blue sofa looks very comfortable. Look. Stand. Let's see, where are they? Look, waste basket. The waste paper basket is a gray metal receptacle similar to the others around the lodge. Look, plants? Are there no plants? The lush plants certainly benefit from the abundant light in the conservatory. There are like 2 hanging from the ceiling. That's about all I can tell. All right. Talk to old man. Talk to Evan. Hello, my name's Nancy Maple, and I'm a mineralogist on assignment from the Royal Canadian Museum. I'm Evan Richards. Look, you and your friend can stay the night, but tomorrow morning Jack will put you on a train back to the city. Someone's going to try to murder you and make it look like it was almonds, Evan. I just want you to know that. We have evidence. Not of foul play, just of almonds. But my boss sent me up here on behalf of the Royal Canadian Museum. I'm a mineralogist. I've got too much on my plate as it is, what with my sister and that lawyer of hers, and one mineralogist is already one too many. A note has been added to your notebook. Talk to Evan. Talk to Nathan. Hello, my name is Nancy Maple. How do you do? Hello, Miss Maple. I'm well, thank you. My name is Nathan Cardinal, a family friend of Evan's. How do you know him? Oh, I don't actually know Mr. Richards at all. The Royal Canadian Museum sent me here on assignment. I'm to survey the land and find out if there are diamonds here. A discovery like that would surely make a splash when the museum opens to the public. You're wasting your time, I'm sorry to say. My family has lived in this area for many, many years and have never found diamonds here. Small red garnets are still plentiful, but of little value. Okay, and let's just talk to Nathan. Okay. Talk about mineralogy. Okay. Talk. There was a way. Yeah. Ask about diamonds. Not from around here. Not from around here, you mark my words. The whole business is just a waste of everyone's time. I have my doubts that it was truly found on this land. And even if it was, who's to say that there's enough to mine? It would be like the garnets all over again. Okay, ask about garnets. I came here for the garnets, but unlike most, he stayed back even when the mines closed. It's a hard mineral, comes in a bunch of different colors, mostly deep red here, sometimes colorless. Colorless garnets could easily be mistaken for diamonds, but any expert would be able to tell the difference. Garnets may be hard, but they aren't as hard as diamonds. That's right, garnets can come in a rainbow of colors. I read that the garnets in crimson were pyrope garnets, which are deep red. Leucogarnets are the colorless ones. Savorite is green, hessonite is orange. Garnet is a hard mineral. You'll see lots of pebble-sized examples along the riverbed. Settlers mined garnets in this area for use in industrial abrasives, that is, until the mines became unprofitable. Hey, Schmelzer, greetings. We're just playing this retro-style game, where we're very slowly collecting information prior to someone being murdered, probably. Ask about mines. Yeah, Crimson was known for garnet mines. I was just a kid when they were open, never even been to them. So don't ask me where the mines are. They got closed decades ago, and the paths have long since been overgrown. Settlers have mined these lands before. They mined garnets that they crushed into abrasive powder. Once it became unprofitable, they left. That was about 30 years ago. We've worked hard to erase the vestiges of those mines and restore the wilderness to its natural state. Still, the area is a dangerous place that is best avoided. Ask about wilderness. What? I don't know anything about that, Miss Maple. Okay. Tell about garnets. Tell about diamond. Okay. Tell about university. You can't use university in this game! My God! Tell Evan about diamonds. Okay. Assignment? I wouldn't worry about that if I were you. You won't be here long enough to get digging. How can I prove that I know what I am talking about? Ask about lodge. My pa built the place rock solid. That was back in the days settlers came up here to mine garnets. Evan's father built this lodge. At the time, the government had bought a large swath of land from us for a pittance. Not that they had much choice in the matter. The government had surveyed the land and believed there was enough garnet to mine from the earth to build a huge industrial town to extract it. Let's see, well, this game eschews education, clearly, because it will not let me use the word university. It's very sad. I can't tell them where I'm from. Let's see. Over time, the government bought more and more land and built Crimson and the train station. But eventually most settlers left, as there wasn't as much garnet as everyone was expecting. The Richards family is the last of the settlers to remain. Their land contains valuable riverside property, not to mention a lake that is rich with fish. Yeah. Ask about river. I don't know anything about that. Ask about lake. Ask about fish. Nope, nothing about that. Asking about a will would be really weird right now. So instead, let's ask about people. I'm hungry as a bear. Hope I get a decent helping of dinner, what with all you guests showing up on short notice. He's been living in this lodge his whole life. He and Nessa's father built it during the garnet mining boom. Crimson Lodge was a bustling place for a while, but eventually the mines closed down and Mr. Richards Sr. and his wife died. Evan kept up the business as folks were packing up and moving away. He started to advertise to skiers and bird watchers. But that didn't last long. He got tired of running the business, so he laid off the staff and closed the lodge down. Yeah. There was a particular type of bird we were looking for, but I've forgotten now. Birds. Cormorants, that's it. Flocks of cormorants in these parts. They like the fish in the lake. So do I. They don't prey on the same fish that fishermen seek. That is a misconception. Oh, yeah. Ask about cormorants. Yeah, that's the same. Okay. Let's see. People. Jack, Nessa, Corvus, Albert, Margot, Kimmy. Ask about Jack. Jack's in the kitchen cooking dinner. Leave him be. Jack works hard, but the lodge and grounds are immense. It's too much work for one man. There used to be more staff, but Evan laid them off when he closed down the lodging business. It was a shame to see them go. This time of day, Jack's usually cooking dinner in the kitchen. With so many extra guests around, it might take longer than usual. Yes, no one's at all bitter about the extra guests. Ask about Nessa? Nessa's my older sister. We don't get along. In fact, I haven't seen her in decades. She went off to the city when she was 18. And now she's back with that horrible lawyer, Corvus. All greedy and grubby. Too bad there ain't nothing for her here. She's probably in the parlor. She likes it there. It's the fussiest room in the lodge. An unfriendly woman. I have no reason to speak with her. Well, ask about Corvus. Oh, that guy. Snooty. No surprise that someone my sister Nessa likes is someone I can barely stand. He's here to make sure she gets hers, which ain't nothing more than what she left behind when she was 18. I think he's in the parlor with Nessa. Mr. Shaw arrived here with Nessa, Evan's sister. He's a lawyer. As soon as Nessa heard the news of this purported diamond claim, she came rushing up from the city. Corvus Shaw is here to assist Nessa with any possible legal matters that should arise regarding the lodge and its land. He seems to think pretty highly of himself. Okay. Albert. Whom we've seen a little bit of, and whom I found out was Belgian, apparently. Jack set him up in a bedroom upstairs. Not for too long, I hope. Yet another new guest. He arrived along with you and your friend, yes? I think I saw him go upstairs to unpack his things. Okay. Tell them about Albert. I do like that. That was the thing I liked about the Colonel's Bequest, is that you could ask people about things, but then you could decide what to tell them about as well. And that kind of affected the plot. It was interesting. Margot, whom we have not met. Margot and I got together a couple years back. I ran into her by the train station. Poor thing was lost. The last train had already left, kind of like you and your friend Kimmy. So she came back to stay here for the night. She hasn't left since. She's probably up in her boudoir getting ready for dinner. There was nobody that I could find in any of the upstairs rooms, but I could be wrong. Margot likes to look good for guests. She always looks good to me. She met Evan in Crimson a few years ago. Okay. Sure. Ask about Kimmy. She's here for the cormorants. Thought this was still an inn. No choice but to put her up, I guess. But both her and you are gonna be back on a train tomorrow morning and out of my hair. A recent arrival, same as yourself. Okay. I'm gonna ask them about something. Will? Whose will? Mine? Or the one Nessa must be hot for? Our Pa's will. I probably shouldn't tell you this, but Pa never had a will, never bothered. But I do, and if she ever tries anything, she's in for a shock. My father told me that Richard Sr. promised this land would be returned to my family, but wasn't clear on when. I happen to know that Richard Sr. didn't have a will, but Evan does. I've said too much already. It is a complicated matter. I gotcha. Let's see. Tell about Albert. I hope I can learn some tips about working in the field from Albert. Maybe so. I hear that Mr. Respa is a mineralogist. I'd love to see him work. I hope he is amenable. Yeah, I mean, this is the job she wants to do. If I recall correctly. But he has not been friendly as of yet. So we shall see. But tell about Kimmy. She loves the great outdoors. She was on the same train as me. Isn't that funny? The train doesn't run very often, so it's not that unusual. Tell about Kit. I don't think that's going to help. I have nothing compelling to say about that. Because it's like, there's a kit that you lost on the train. And I seem to half remember something about finding a replacement for it, but who knows? That's it. That's all I can think of to ask them. Or to say to them. I haven't found anything weird or unusual to talk to them about as of yet. I don't think it's. I think they already know enough about Nessa and Corvus, so that I don't need to tell them, confirm for them the thing that I learned. Also, it's not a good idea to let them know, hey, I've been eavesdropping on everyone. So yeah, that's going to be about it. I think. Could say tell about Jack. You have nothing compelling to say about that. Okay. Yeah, that's all I've got. Okay. Jack seems incredibly busy. And then you said something. He works hard to make all feel welcome. Maybe that was a bug. Okay. Well, that's that. I'm going to turn around. Ah! I kind of love that moving into the lower hall, it's like the whole place changed around her instead of her changing position. It's like I don't know how to describe it. But that was amusing. Okay. We're going to head back upstairs at this point. And there are some things I want to check out. Yeah. Things. If you weren't eavesdropping on everyone, I'd be concerned. I know, right? Okay, I see. Yeah, so the innkeeper's quarters are across from guest bedroom 2, which I believe is where Albert is. We are in guest bedroom 1. Kimmy and I. Kimmy and us. Kimmy and we. And yes. So Margot must be in one of those rooms to the south off of the innkeeper's quarters. Because it's like she and Albert are the last people we need to talk to complete this phase of the game, presumably. This is the upstairs hallway. The bedroom that Jack and Corvus are sharing is through the door in the east wall. Oh, okay. The hallway continues to the north and south. I got it wrong. Okay. I have some thoughts. Wait a minute. So here, the door to the west leads to Nessa's bedroom. The door to the east leads to Albert's room. The hallway continues to the north and south. Right, he's staying in the servants' quarters. That's what it was. And so Jack and Corvus are sharing the next room. Okay. I've got it. I understand now. Because there was this whole shuffle they wanted to do. And for some reason, Albert insisted on staying in the servants' quarters. Which is not at all mysterious. But we'll see. We are in the upper hall. You're getting a response. So, I have been here. I have not snooped around a lot. However, I feel justified in snooping around now. Do you feel justified in snooping around now? Well, a little bit. You feel a little weird about invading their private space. What was it on the fireplace? A vase and a picture frame. Picture frame is empty. Examine frame. Okay. Open wardrobe. Look in wardrobe. 2 garment bags and folded up pairs of overalls. The overalls are clean and in good repair. Okay. No. Very dangerous game we're playing here. Figuratively speaking. Look under bed. You have an intense fear of dust bunnies and can't bring yourself to do so. This is 2 doors in the south wall. Blue trunk has a metal tag screwed into the top. Read tag. Tag has the name Evan Richards engraved into it. Open trunk. Trunk is locked. Okay. So, there's 1 big room and 2 little rooms. Yet no response. I like the detail there. An ensuite bathroom, what a luxury! Especially at this era. You see a classy Victorian bathtub, a pedestal sink, a toilet, and a wastepaper basket. A door in the north wall leads back into the master bedroom. Well, while we're here, we may as well examine everything. Look at the tub. An ornate bathtub is the focal point of the room. It's surrounded by a teal curtain. There's a bath mat and one by the toilet. Look under bath mat. Look, towel. The fluffy blue towels match the decor. Look, sink. The pedestal sink has 2 taps, one for hot water and one for cold. Look, mirror. The oval mirror is set into a wooden frame. Look behind mirror. Look, waste basket. The waste paper basket set in the ensuite bathroom has been painted bright cyan to serve as a bright visual accent. There isn't anything in this waste paper basket. Like toilet. It's a pull chain high tank porcelain toilet with a wooden seat. Examine toilet. Look in tank. No tank. Look mat. Look small mat. Oh, never mind. Anyway. Alright, I think we're good there. Open door. Closed door. Alright. Teal and cyan in the same room. That's a design choice. It certainly is. For those of you just joining us, I decided to try to I decided to break out this overlay that you're seeing to help because I was covering the pixels quite a bit last time with my visage, and so I thought perhaps this would help. Maybe it does. I don't know. We shall see. We shall see. I don't know what to think about it. I don't know what to think about the look. It looks very different. Anyway. We will hunt her down. There she is. Yes, who is it? I'll take that as a come in. The boudoir transports you to fin de... Once upon a time... Once upon a time, I was able to speak... I didn't know much French, but I was able to pronounce it well. Now I must check other sources.
Siècle.
Siècle. Fin de siècle, Paris. Turn of the century, end of the century. Yeah. It's a shiny, opulent, perhaps slightly tacky, and very, very pink. A mirrored vanity is the focal point of the room. Is not all vanity mirrored in some way? Anyway. Exotic perfumes hover in intensely localized clouds that you can almost see. Every movement stirs air currents that bring new scents to your nose. A doorway to the south leads to a walk-in closet, and a doorway to the north leads back into the master bedroom. A powder compact is on the vanity. You see a pretty blonde woman in a fashionable dress. Vanity. The vanity is lit with a pair of sconces. It has drawers on the left, right, and middle, which we will not be rummaging through because there's a person here. Margot's powder compact is on. You keep telling me about that. There's an elegant tin of powder on the vanity. Look at the poster. A dark-haired woman in a crimson dress kisses a middle-aged man with a comb-over at a dinner table. You're not sure what this Art Nouveau poster is advertising, as it's in French. Look, I've forgotten what it's called. Because it's been decades since I've had to use the word. But this thing, I know, I used to know what these were called. There's a bunch of perfume here. You see some French labels that you can't read. Look at fainting couch. The slinky pink chaise lounge. Lounge is in the corner. Like a chair. There's an armchair, a stool, and a chaise lounge. Look at furniture. Look at model. Look at, what's that called? Form. The mannequin form is quite large. Perhaps it was once used in a store's display window. Look, necklace. The size of the necklace's pendant leads you to believe it's made of glass. We could probably examine it, but let's not do that in front of her. It's like a dressing... Oh, God. The term for it's like a dressing partition. Room dividers. Folding screen. Paravent. I will try all of these words. The gorgeous dressing screen is located with a leaf motif. Is decorated with a leaf motif. Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Look at Margot. A slim blonde woman sits at a vanity. Talk to Margot. Hello there, it's nice to meet you. My name's Nancy Maple. A pleasure to meet you, mademoiselle. I'm Margot. Welcome to the Crimson Lodge. How long will you be staying with us? Oh, she's very friendly. I'm only here tonight, unfortunately. I was sent here by the Royal Canadian Museum on assignment. I've been using the word university, but it should be museum. I think I was using university because we are a student. I thought. Maybe not. Maybe we're post-student. I don't know what's happening anymore. But Jack says I'm due to leave on the train tomorrow, according to Mr. Richards' wishes. I see. I'm sorry we won't get to know each other better. A note has been added to your notebook. Just we'll say talk to Margot, won't it? Yeah. I should have been using the word museum. But anyway. Oh, me? Not much to tell. Before I met Evan, I felt so alone, but everything's changed for the better. That's good. Ask about Evan. Mon cher, we met in Crimson a couple of years ago. I was terribly lost, and it was so late in the evening. No more trains were running that night, so he invited me to stay at the lodge. And I have not left since then. Yes. Ask about the lodge. It is so rugged and rustic, so charming. I fell in love with the place as soon as I saw it. Evan has let me redecorate a little bit to suit my taste. Oh. So it's you. So all that teal and cyan is your fault, is it? Not just the limitation of 16 colors. It's a good question. Now we must decide what to ask her about and what to tell her about. I think I've been missing out on the opportunity to tell about the museum, and if I have, then that will help. Because up until this point, my brain was just telling me, for some reason, that we were coming from a university. Ask Margot about Cyan. Yes, clearly that's what we want to know. Oh, Mademoiselle Maple, I wish I knew. She doesn't. But the game understood the word Cyan. So that tells us something. Very little. It doesn't tell us much. But it tells us something. So what do we think the odds are on her and her and Evan getting murdered tonight? Because I have a feeling. Ask Margot about Loom. No, they don't. We can't use Loom in this game. Alas. I heard not too long ago there's a podcast called Ask Us About Loom. I need to check that out. But okay. We asked about the lodge, I think, already. Diamonds are the finest of jewels, fit for royalty. Yeah. A missed opportunity, to be sure. I know. We're going to ask about the necklace that I see hanging. It is so pretty. Do you think it's very precious to me? Monsieur Richard found the white garnet on these grounds. He may seem a little gruff, but he is so very sweet deep down. He would do anything for me. Anything? Evan tells me that the pretty pebbles in the riverbed are garnets. little red ones and clear ones. They are very tiny. The different colors are caused by mineral impurities. I do love that that Nancy just sort of will volunteer mineral facts at any opportunity. It's wonderful. Actually, tell about diamonds. Nothing? Tell about garnet. Now that's very strange. Now that we've talked about it, the clear colorless nugget is an odd amorphous shape. It shines with an almost adamantine luster. I'm now going to rant briefly about this word. Because I know a lot of folks who play tabletop RPGs. Now I'm going to, first of all, I need to explain. There's no such thing, I think, in English. I'm going to specify in English as a correct pronunciation because of how English works, but or fails to work, as the case may be. I just sort of say things the way I want to say them. But I will tell you that I understand that due to the influence of Marvel Comics, a lot of folks who play Dungeons and Dragons and other games, they see this word and they want to say adamantine and think of it as a type of metal. When in fact, what we're talking about is because they're thinking of the metal adamantium from Marvel Comics. But I generally say adamantine because it's an adjective that describes something as being, I don't want to say nigh indestructible, but it describes it as being very, very solid. And so that's where that comes from. And initially, in early editions, at least of Dungeons and Dragons, earlier editions, it was an adjective describing a slightly better class of armor. But I digress. Oh, unobtainium is a better descriptor. Only when used in jest, in my opinion, because I will tell you, very early in, when I went to the theater to see the first Avatar movie, and I checked out in my mind. I think I wanted to check out the moment I heard them. It was a mark against that movie the moment that they used the word unobtainium unironically. I was so upset. Anyway, I digress. She thinks this is garnet. Is it garnet? Is it garnet, Nancy? This is what you're supposed to be good at. It's about the size of a grape. It's stunning. Ah, you are admiring my necklace. That is a colorless garnet. They are quite rare, though it is nowhere near as valuable as a diamond. But we decide what is valuable to ourselves, don't we? Well, the De Beers Company does that, unfortunately for us. Following a lot of very unsavory practices. It is from my Evan, therefore it is priceless to me. Yes, but that wasn't the greatest sin committed by that movie. That's fair. That is absolutely fair. Anyway, let's ask about people. Can I tell about museum? You can't use museum in this game. Curse them! Curse them all! They're clearly anti-education. So anyway, we've asked about Evan. Let's see, we're looking at the list again. We're going to ask about Jack. There used to be many staff here, but now it is only Jack. Evan hired him after he shut down the lodging business and sent everyone else away. But that was all before my time. I only know Jack, and he is a fine man. He is in the kitchen making dinner. It smells so delicious. Teachers, leave them kids alone. I hate to tell you this, but unfortunately they got the wrong, a lot of folks got the wrong message from that. Didn't leave them alone about the right things and left them alone about the wrong things. Anyway. Let's ask about Nessa. I know, right? Oh, yeah. Nessa and Corvus, they came up from the city a few weeks ago. I'm pretty sure she doesn't like me, but I barely know her. She is Evan's older sister. Once she heard about the diamonds, she brought her lawyer to the lodge with her. Moshe has been under so much stress lately. Evan's older sister. Yes, we know this. She is probably in the parlor. Yes, we know. Ask about Corvus. Corvus? I tried to be friendly, but he is all business. I know. Ask about Nathan. He is a quiet one. He visits here often. I think he and Evan are friends, but sometimes I think I hear them arguing. I last saw him in the conservatory. He likes the view there. Yes. I keep wondering, for example, about specific rooms. Nope, she doesn't know. Okay. I asked about her already. Nessa, Corvus, Nathan, Ethan, Evan, and Jack. So Kimmy and Nathan. We already asked about Nathan. Asking about Albert. I haven't spoken to him since he arrived. He is probably upstairs preparing for dinner. I know. You probably don't know much about Kimmy. I am a little surprised Evan is allowing her to stay, as it's been many months since the lodge was an inn. But Evan is such a softie after all. Were you surprised they let us stay? Yeah. Ask about cormorants. Those are the birds that eat fish. Yes, that is what I heard too. Let's see. I can tell her about Kimmy. She wakes bright and early, but thankfully moves quietly and does not disturb the rest of the household. How do you know that? Time travel? There's some illegal time travel happening in this game now. Wait, this is interesting. Tell about Nancy. The Royal Canadian Museum Mineralogy Department sent me here to study the diamond claim. Ah, oh, exciting. You must be very clever. Thanks, Margot. I have a lot to learn. Yeah. I didn't realize you could do that. Talk about yourself. That's all I can think of. So I guess, ask about perfume. I am in love with fine fragrance. It is so hard to resist spraying scents constantly. Oh, wow. That's a delight. Let's see. Yeah, that's all I can think to ask about. I don't know. Is there anything else I should be asking her about? I don't know. Ask her about the will. Why not? I saved the game. It is not my place to say. But Nessa is looking for her father's will. But Evan, he told me that their father did not write one. He finds it funny to toy with her. I do not find it so funny. She's ruthless, but she does not see it. I've met people like her before. I will try to protect him. That's good. I don't know. I prefer cakes and cookies to confectionery, but not too much. We must stay trim, yes? Sure. But of course, after dinner, Jack and I might bake a batch of cookies. My Evan loves cookies. Thumbprint cookies are mon cher's favorites, but we can't coat them with nuts. He is allergic. But ever since he was a boy, it is a pity because I love nuts. But I don't mind foregoing them to keep him safe. Yes. Yet his own sister would bring almonds into his home. Yes, it's the murder weapon. We don't get to choose our families, do we? Nope. All right. That actually gives us more information than we were thinking about. Than we thought. It's interesting. Is there anything else we want to ask about? I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything, so I'm going to leave her to what she is doing. We'll close this door. That was good. That was good. She was not upset. That is helpful. And then the last person we need to talk to is Albert, and he did not want us to disturb him, but we might do it anyway so that we can check the last box. Open door. I will, however, go back into our room where Kimmy is. I'm just happy to be here. Thank goodness there's a bed for me. But I'm very disappointed that I can't stay here longer. I've heard there were nesting cormorants in this region. Nowadays they're rare. Fishermen kill them because they think the birds eat up all the fish, but it's not true. Poor things. Yes. I don't think I asked her about everyone. Because obviously she wouldn't have had time. I know about as much about him as you do, which is what Jack told us. The government sent him to officially investigate the diamond claim. He seems rather brusque, doesn't he? Yeah. Tell about Nancy. You tell Kimmy all about your deep love of mineralogy and your hopes and dreams for the future. I think it's wonderful that you want to pursue a degree in mineralogy in university. Okay, she is a student. That's right. All this talk of women being too delicate for outdoor jobs is just silly. I love camping and hiking. I find it especially peaceful when I'm out in the wilderness on my own. Wilderness? I'm sorry, Nancy, I don't know anything about that. I don't know. Isn't it splendid? I was hoping to stay here for a while to see the cormorants and other northern Ontario birds. But the lodge is now closed to guests. What a disappointing turn of events. Yes. Have you met Nessa? I don't know who that is. I should probably warn you about her. Let's see. What else? Just looking at our inventory here. The lodge examination of the lodge map tells us nothing. Jack is my hero. He brought us to the lodge. He didn't have to do that. Yeah. Yes. Let's see. Ask about Evan. Eek! I hope he's a nice and sympathetic man. We aren't supposed to be here. I'm on the fence about possibly seeing the dialogue if I tell her about people, but I don't know. I kind of don't want to, I don't want to contaminate things when suspects become a thing, uh, as it were. Let's see. Margot? Jack said she's in a relationship with Mr. Richards. I haven't met her yet, or Mr. Richards for that matter. I hope he isn't too upset that we are unexpected guests. Well, we'll see. He seemed okay with it, you know, just for tonight. But who knows? Okay. Suspects? Just what are you expecting to happen here? Oh, nothing. Mr. Richards' sister brought a lawyer with her, is what Jack said. I suppose we'll meet them both eventually. Nothing untoward at all is going to happen. I'm sure everything will be fine. It'll be a very happy, very short weekend. Lovely weekend. I think he lives nearby. I think that's everybody. Okay. I should have a quick chat with Albert. He mentioned that he'd be unpacking in his room. Okay, yeah, that's helpful. All right. I can't think of anything else. Keep hitting the wrong button. Or press and putting the wrong... He's in the servants' quarters. For some reason, he insisted. Okay. Door to the east leads to Albert's room. Okay. Now we've met everybody. That kind of helps a little bit, but... Here we go. We're going to try to be insistent. You knock lightly on Albert's door. Leave me alone, whoever it is. I am busy. I found out, apparently. Well, okay. Well, we'll get there in a minute. We're going to open the door and go in. Because we need to talk to him. This is a small bedroom, humbly furnished. Albert insisted on getting a room to himself, despite its size. Ah, okay. It was more important he have a room by himself than... Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Also, it looks like mud on the carpet here. The furniture in this room is of simpler make and consists of a wardrobe, desk, and nightstand. There is a pitcher and a drinking glass on the nightstand. A door in the west wall leads back to the upstairs hallway. Albert is here. Well, here we go. Talk to Albert. Hello, Mr. Espa. How are you settling in? Please, miss, I am busy at the moment. I'm busy at the moment and can't chat. Game is auto-saved. A note's been added to your notebook. You hear Jack calling, "Supper!" It's time to head to the dining room. Look, suitcase. There are two identical large chests at the foot of the bed. I'm going to try telling him... I'm going to save. We already just auto-saved, damn it. Should be fine. We're going to try telling him about ourselves because we need him to be sympathetic to the fact that we want to do what he does. You're a mineralogist too. I have so many questions for you. I'm too busy to assist you or answer your questions. Please, Miss Maple, I am rather busy at the moment. Perhaps we can converse after dinner. The geology and mineralogy book looks as good as new. Yes. Yes. I'm wondering is if you accidentally picked up my mineral kit from the train. This is what I want to know. Well done. Well done. Why is this well done? Go to the dining room. Dinner time. I'm starving. To the dining room. Okay. There's a lot of unpacking he's doing right now. From that one suitcase. He's gone back and forth a few times now, right? Can't use Belgium. Just as well. Forbidden words. You're in the same train car as Kimmy and I. Did you see what happened to my luggage? I was asleep. The monotony of the scenery was exhausting. All right. Well, so much for that. It's an interesting idea, though. Could have just said, tell about suitcase. That would have been something. Okay. I can't think of anything. I mean, he's not going to answer questions right now. I don't think. All right. We'll go ahead and go on to dinner. I don't know if there's anything else we need to do here at this moment before things happen. Kindly stay out of my way, miss. I'm busy unpacking my things. Okay, let's go. Never mind. He sounds like Poirot. Yeah, no, that was the thing. Is that in the last session of this, they told me they said that he was from Antwerp. So I am correcting how I was doing the voice. I'm doing it differently from the way I was doing it last time. But in any case, I wonder if I can just... That doesn't account. Okay. All right. All right. I think, and that's what I'm saying is that there, I think that he is probably based on Poirot, because this is very much steeped in, Christie style murder mystery stuff. Let's see, the dining room, 2 doors down on the right. Okay. You don't hear any voices. Joke's on you. I hear voices all the time. Okay. My goodness, what a lot of company we have tonight. Press enter to advance the text. Okay. I am not skipping the cutscene. Pixelated munchery of various things. This is giving me indigestion. This food is giving me indigestion. You're welcome to leave. In fact, please do. Ha! You'd like that, wouldn't you? I'm not going anywhere until we find out if that diamond came from this land. And if it did, then you better believe I'm getting my share. That's what you think. Yes, that's what we think. That's what I'm here to ensure. Hey, you, how long is that gonna take? We just sort of hanging out at the doorway? I guess we are. I will begin my fieldwork tomorrow morning. Jim, you're not supposed to tell everyone about those voices. Oh dear. Forget. Crimson used to be a garnet mining town, yes? Yeah, but forget about visiting the mines. They blasted the mine entrances shut years ago when they closed it down. Unless the fish had a pickaxe, broke into the mine, swallowed a diamond, then dove back into the water, into the river. Unless the fish had a pickaxe, broke into the mine, swallowed a diamond, then dove back into the river. I mean, I wouldn't put it past it. Yes, I see. I've never even been there. Couldn't tell you where it is. Mr. Richards gets a sour look on his face and digs back into his meal. He looks like he is done with this conversation. This sounds like an Invisible Sun heist. Yeah. Give the fish a pickaxe. If you give a fish a pickaxe... I'll have to workshop that a bit. I'm sure I'll find the end of that sentence at some point. If you give a fish a pickaxe... Give a fish a diamond. He'll... Give a fish a diamond, he'll be rich for a day. Give a fish a pickaxe. He'll sink to the bottom because he can't hold it very well. Okay. Margot, what a lovely necklace you're wearing. Why are you? Oh no, we're there. We're right there. Okay, I thought we were standing out by the doorway, but I can now looking at this image more carefully. I see we are there eating, second from the right, on the north side of the table. Thank you, mademoiselle. Monsieur Richards, he gave it to me. I'm very fond of it. A cheap trinket. Misshapen paste gem in a cheap setting. It's a white garnet, not glass. My Evan, he found it here in crimson. Didn't you, mon cher? Never mind, Margot. No one wants to hear about that. No one wants to hear about that. My sapphire brooch. Now this is a real piece of jewelry. Bought it myself. Well, I think they're both quite nice. Nancy. Nathan, I read in the newspaper that most of the land up here was once parceled out to settlers. Is that how this plot became property of Mr. Richards' father? You told us this! Like half an hour ago. About 50 years ago, this land was annexed by the government. Various treaties were signed in exchange for preservation of our hunting and fishing rights and financial compensation. The promises described in those treaties were not honored, by the way. Settlers came in, mines were dug, and Crimson was prosperous for a time. But eventually the mines were exhausted. Most settlers abandoned their homesteads, and Crimson became a ghost town. Only Mr. Richards and his family remained. Yeah. We liked the peace and quiet. We liked it. I always hated it here. I sure do miss peace and quiet. Nessa and Corvus are the first to excuse themselves from the table. They head to the bar for a nightcap. Albert follows them for a snifter of brandy and one of his cigars. Jack clears away the dishes and goes to the kitchen to wash up. After eating a minuscule portion of supper, Margot heads upstairs to draw a bath. Good, telling us where everyone is. The story of the First Nations in Canada might actually be worse than how it went in the US, honestly. I believe you. I have not heard as much as I've heard about in the US, but yeah, I've heard it's really bad. It's understandable. Kimmy heads upstairs to get ready for bed. Nathan and Evan remain at the table, lingering over their desserts. The candles have burned down a fair bit over the course of the evening, leaving small puddles of wax solidifying on the tablecloth. Well, that was a lovely meal. Yeah, Jack does a good job. Usually I wait for Jack to come clear the dishes so as I can put off getting up. Looks like he's taking longer than usual to clear up, what with all the extra guests. Ah, I feel a little responsible for Jack's extra workload. Maybe I ought to give him a hand. He'd appreciate that. About time someone made themselves useful around here. The hell? Okay. Post-dinner, we've been here close to 2 hours. Not quite yet. But it's getting later. I feel okay, though. I'm going to look in the notebook. Okay, went to the dining room. Help Jack with the dishes. Okay, that's our next mission. Is to help Jack with the dishes. But there's a conversation that's going to happen we need to listen in on. Isn't there? Isn't there? Evan and Nathan meeting in the study after dinner. Okay. So they're here currently, but they will be moving to the study. All right. Good to know. So we have a second round of looking around. Let's see. Three candles warmly illuminate the massive dining table. They are set in a trio of silver candlesticks. The candles have burned down a bit. There are wax drippings on the table and the candlesticks. Why are they telling us this? Stand up first. What? I don't know anything about that, Miss Maple. All right. Get up. You stand up. Would not benefit from closer examination. Do we need some of this wax for later for some reason? Do we need to make an impression of something? I don't know. But we don't have a reason to yet, so I'm going to behave as though everything's fine. I'm going to go to the kitchen. Talk to Jack. Hello, Jack. Yes, I'm busy with these dishes. I can't talk right now. Help Jack with dishes. You help Jack wash the dishes. Thanks, miss. Lots more dishes than usual. Happy to help. A note has been added to your notebook. Now I gotta go see to Mrs. Crabbe and Mr. Shaw in the bar. Have to make sure they don't drink us dry. And, of course, I need to get Mr. Richards his hot toddy. He likes a soothing drink before bed. And I don't want to keep Margot waiting. Forget about that last one, won't you? Okay. Game is auto-saved. I wonder if I was supposed to go right there. I wonder if I was supposed to listen in on something. Maybe I was. Because I just did this. Eavesdrop on boudoir door. Well, that's a clear that's a clear message. What was I looking for? I was looking for something here. Wait, review. I mentioned something about meeting up with Margot. I should check on them. Maybe in her boudoir. You know what I'm gonna do? Something foolish. No, we already saved there. That's good. I'm gonna do something here. Because there was a thing he was gonna check on. I just want to see if there are any open doors anywhere that I should listen. Okay. Just checking. Just checking. I don't know if, yeah. Because I feel as though it's only natural to be here. You left the kettle on. There's a blue graniteware kettle boiling water on the stove top. Do we want to just leave it? Did Jack forget about it? Don't know. It could be dangerous if it's left on. But anyway. Evans here. This room is already piled high in a cut crystal bowl and a fancy coffee table. We don't have that. We won't worry about that right now. Actually, hang on. You doing okay? That's not Jack. You doing okay? Evan Richards is a husky, weather-beaten man in his mid-60s. He owns Crimson Lodge. Although his sister Nessa might have something to say about that, he seems gruff and bothered about having his wildlife ideal disturbed, which isn't that unusual considering he is a recluse. Tell about Nancy. I haven't done this yet with everybody. The museum sent me to perform a preliminary survey of this area. Plenty of rocks around here, but nothing worth much to you brainy types. This area was surveyed before, and they mistakenly thought there were rich garnet veins here. So I'm afraid you're going to be in for some disappointment if you think you're going to find diamonds. No, that wasn't the... I'm sure everything's fine. I wish I could remember where they said everyone went off to. That would have helped. I'm not sure if I need to check on everyone or not. Okay. Okay. I'm going to leave doors open that are already open. But just, you know, thoughts. Just little thoughts. Their voices are so I wonder what they're talking about. Ah! With the door closed, you can open door. Hoping that the carousing in the bar provides enough of a distraction, you gently ease the door open. Nessa. Father's will has to be around here somewhere. Here we go. Things would be so much easier if we could just find it. If the will can't be found, we might have to proceed as planned. Take our chances. That little gold-digging hussy complicates things. I'm dealing with her in my own way. We'll talk about that another time. Good night, Mr. Shaw. Good night, madam. The note has been added to your notebook. Nessa can't find a will. Nessa is dealing with Margot. Hmm. 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 And now no one's there. But I don't know. I am troubled. F3 works. Okay. Good to know. No one's here in the closet. That's good. No one's here. Everything looks the same. Are people in here now? No. I don't know why I'm opening this door. Because I'd like to remember where it was that Albert said he was headed. Because I wanted to talk to him. He said I could talk to him. Anyway. Let's see. Let me see if he's here. You knock lightly on Albert's door. Leave me alone, whoever it is. I'm busy. You're still busy. I thought you said we could talk after dinner, Albert. The thing is, I need to do something. There's a thing I need to do here. And I realize this is not an awesome thing to do. I have to go back and see. I should have noted it down, I guess, but that would have meant writing things down with my hands, like a barbarian. Let me see if I can... Were we here? I guess we were. There's something I'm missing here. If I hit escape... No, it doesn't tell us where they went. God. Ah! Ah! Curses. We will... I will enter... I will just tab through and enter through everything. I just want to see the part where it says everyone retires to after dinner. So we already did this. And then there's an awkward pause. And then we talk about the history. Okay. Nessa and Corvus are the first to excuse themselves from the table. They head to the bar for a nightcap. We know about that. Albert follows them for a snifter of brandy and one of his cigars. But he's supposed to be there. Okay. Jack clears away the dishes and goes to the kitchen to wash up. After eating a minuscule portion of supper, Margot heads upstairs to draw a bath. Kimmy heads upstairs to get ready for bed. Nathan and Evan remain at the table lingering over their desserts. The candles have burned down a fair bit over the course of the evening, leaving small puddles of wax solidifying the tablecloth. That was a lovely meal, etc., etc. Now, got up. And we already have a place saved here. But I want to immediately... I hear voices near this doorway. I wonder what they're talking about. Okay. Eavesdropping in their presence wouldn't be appropriate. So this is still happening. Okay. He's still there. This is different. This brandy's not bad, surprisingly. It isn't the worst brandy I've ever drunk. It is far from the best. My wife Gabrielle is teetotal. No fun at all. Ah, sounds like a barrel of laughs. You said she's a teacher? Yes, she teaches she loves the little tots with their sticky fingers. I was basically Evan's mother while we were growing up. I've hated kids ever since. He was such a chubby little whiner. He loved Crimson, but then again he didn't know any better. Whereas I remembered our real home back in England. Crimson couldn't compare. Have you any children, Albert? Certainly not. So do you think there are really diamonds here? It would be a very profitable venture for everyone involved. How soon will you know? I cannot say, madame. Tomorrow morning I will begin my fieldwork. My superiors wish me to be thorough. I may be here a while. But I hope you know sooner rather than later. I've never liked this place, and now I have to watch that harlot fawn all over Evan. It sickens me watching him get so easily manipulated by her. Then again, he's never been very bright. Good night, madame. Mr. Shaw. A note has been added to your notebook. Interesting. See, we didn't have that last time. Nessa and Evan didn't get along as kids. We haven't helped Jack with the dishes yet, but we wanted to Going to go Lower Hall 6. This is another timeline. We wanted to talk to Albert. Is it possible? No. Wait. There we go. Conk. Knock lightly. Leave me alone, whoever it is. I'm busy. You told me we could talk. Door is locked. Aha! Dang it. Okay. Well, so much for that. Still, we got more than we thought we were getting. Good evening, Miss Crab. Mrs. Crab. I'm trying to enjoy my drink, Miss Maple. And I'm having a conversation with Mr. Shaw. Leave us be. Okay. A brilliant fellow, highly knowledgeable and so sophisticated. A brilliant fellow, highly knowledgeable and so sophisticated. Okay, new theory. Albert has clearly done something to these people. Wow, Jack's dinner tasted as good as it smelled. He grows a lot of the ingredients himself. It's impressive. Thanks for the nice dinner, Mr. Richards. Didn't you have enough chatter at dinner, girl? No. Albert is the head body snatcher. You're in for a long game. I know, right? It's going to take a while. Jack's a good man, hard worker, quiet. Jack's a good man. They said almost exactly the same thing. Him? I don't think much of him, but he was sent by the government, so I can't kick him out. He keeps to himself. I wonder if they have different opinions of people. She's quiet and stays out of the way. She's the opposite of my big sister. She does like birds, doesn't she? Yes. We're going to get different answers this time, right? She's my gal. She met Evan in Crimson a few years ago. As I'm asking about Margot. It's about Nessa. You can't pick your family, you know. Not a very nice woman. Snobby. Not surprised Nessa likes him. He says the lodge is stuffy, so he sits out on the bench outside of the study for fresh air. I find him stuffy. I don't think he's my type of person. That's everybody, I think. Unless I ask them about themselves again. I miss the quiet life. Evan is a decent man, but I think he tries too hard to please others. Nat and I have had a lot of good chat sitting at this table. I knew him when his feet were dangling sitting on these chairs. Can you believe that? Our families have been friends for many years. How lovely. The lodge has always fascinated me, but as I've gotten older and Crimson has declined, I think it may have outlived its usefulness. You're probably right about that, Nat. I feel the same way about myself. I'm sure a lot of other folks, there might be someone else who does as well. We'll figure that out later. This is going to get weird. What? I don't know anything about it. Okay. The elegant crystal decanter is a round stopper and is filled with the finest Canadian whiskey aged for 12 years in oak barrels. You are certainly no expert. Okay. Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. I just am kind of, yes. Ask about Evan. He seems completely uninterested in what's going on. Diamonds would actually make this land worth something. He is not my client. He is not my client. Okay. I don't much care for him. Seems rather unfriendly. Yeah, I'm just checking. They do tell you different things. So now I'm asking them again about everybody. I've had quite enough of her. An attractive woman, certainly. No one can deny that, but I've seen her type before. Particularly in larger cities, if you get my meaning. Working late. Yeah, we've had that. We've already had this part of this conversation tree has happened to us already. Kimmy. I don't like that one. Too quiet. An odd duck. No, she's not quiet if you talk to her. All right. Well, so much for that. I can't think of anything else we might, know. Is there anyone else we want to spy on before we help Jack with the dishes? Margot is by herself. Wait. Wait. I forgot the pause command. There's the pause command. Hang on, I've got to do some moderating here. Let me see here. Here we go. All right. That's taken care of. All right. Yeah, I guess we can try. Good evening. I expect I showed up just in time for you to leave. Close, yes. I'm going to be leaving in a little bit. I haven't yet. Though there are a couple things I'm trying to get at before I close up for the night. But it's probably not going to be too much longer. Granted, one never knows. Right now, we've had, at this point in the narrative, we've had dinner. And I'm now wandering around looking for people to spy on. Just a little bit. Before I go and help with the dishes. Which apparently advances to the next thing. But greetings once again. Good to see you. Aren't you a guest? Yes. But you know, come in. I found out that they give different responses to things, certain things, after dinner, so I'm now finding out. An ensuite bathroom, what a luxury! You see a classic Victorian bathtub, a pedestal sink, a toilet, and a wastepaper basket. A door in the north wall leads back into the master bedroom. Margot is here. Talk to Margot. Hello, Margot. Bonsoir, mademoiselle. Would you care to join me? Maybe if we were both a little younger. Ooh, is that so? Absolutely. But at this current water level and our current sizes, the water would overflow for sure. But of course. Okay, yeah. My joints have been aching the past few days. Baths help me. I take a bath every night with luxurious oils. Do we get different? No, it's the same one. Okay. Ask about... Jesus Christ. Ask about dinner. Jack lacks formal training in cooking, but he does his best. Simple and wholesome food. Ask about... How are you doing? I don't want to hear anything here about me. I'm so very uninteresting. Are you, or is that a front? An interesting question. Evan. He may appear gruff, but he is so sweet and gentle-hearted. Alright. Nathan, he and Evan sometimes talk late into the night, but Moshe will not discuss it with me. I will ask about... Who else do we ask about? Nessa. A sour old woman. I ask about... Corvus. He is arrogant. I ask about Jack. Jack is a good man. He works so hard every day, but there is much to do. Evan ought to hire another man to help Jack, but there is no money for that. You seem to want to keep the lodge going, which is nice. There are thoughts. Let's see. Ask about Kimmy. She seems a bit shy. Ask about Albert. I can't seem to get to him. He seems very professional. Albert would be my key to being able to stay here longer, you see. He lets me in on what he's doing. Let's see. I think that's everybody. Okay. And I can't think of anything to tell her about. The lodge needs to be open so that she can lure victims to their death. That's vitally important for a place like this, for there to be able to be murders here. There hasn't been a single murder yet. Just waiting. I guess that's about it. I can't think of anything else to ask her about at this point. I am going to save the game, however, because this is not... No. Oh, wait. I know why that's doing what that's doing. There we go. Because, you know, well, that's that. We're going to close that door. I've seen The Shining, I know. Yeah. The murder rate is currently suspiciously low, it's true. Yeah, just waiting, though. Just waiting. Alright, so now we will go ahead and help Jack with the dishes, and that will theoretically trigger the next set of things. Hello, Jack. Miss, I'm busy with these dishes. I can't talk right now. I cook dinner and all the other meals here, too. I'm going to ask him about people. See if he knows. Albert. He's got a job to do, and so do I. Haven't had a chance to chat much with him. Ask about Evan. He's my boss. I do as he says. But if the murders were in the past, they could be normal to high. We just haven't discovered it yet. That's fair. We're going to ask about... How are you doing, Jack? I'm a simple man, not much to say. How do you feel about Margot right now? Margot's a real homebody. At this time of night, she's usually in her boudoir or the ensuite bathroom beside it. She likes a warm bath now and again. Yes, I found that out. Let's see. Ask about Nessa. Nessa's got a jewelry box in her room. I dust around it. She's pretty protective. This doesn't seem to be a clue situation yet. Yeah, we're getting there, I'm sure. I ask about... Albert did say it was beginning field work tomorrow. Yeah. If someone takes out Albert, then we'll be the only person left to do any of that kind of work. Kimmy, Margot, Albert, Nessa, Corvus, Nathan, Evan, and Jack. Ask about Corvus. Highfalutin fella. Ask about Kimmy. He likes birds even more than I do. But cormorants. Pretty nifty birds, cormorants. They dive deep into the lake for fish, nest on cliffsides nearby. But don't go visiting down there. They'll peck the life out of you. About flypaper. I keep tons of boxes of flypaper out in the shed. The black flies up here are murder. Ah! He said the word! I don't know if it's just the stickiness of the flypaper or what. That stuff kills flies dead. Ask about the kettle. This whole thing, it was here when I got here. The old cook must have bought it. Yes, but are you making tea or are you just going to leave it? Never mind. Let's see. Well, I can't think of anything else to ask him. Going to save here, and then I will help Jack with the dishes. And that will advance. Help Jack with Jack. Help Jack with dishes. That will advance things. The kettle is a cursed object. Yes, that could easily be it. You help Jack with the dishes. Thanks, miss. Lots more dishes than usual. Happy to help. A note has been added to your notebook. Now I gotta go see to Mrs. Crabbe and Mr. Shaw in the bar. Have to make sure they don't drink us dry. And of course, I need to get Mr. Richards his hot toddy. He likes a soothing drink before bed. And I didn't want to keep Margot waiting. Forget about that last one, won't you? A note has been added to your notebook. Game is auto-saved. Now, looking this over. Special fluids brewed in there. Kettle for the tea or the hot toddy poison? It could be. Could be. Eavesdrop on boudoir door. Yes, I see that we're supposed to do that. Evan and Nathan meeting in the study after dinner. See, we missed that. And I don't think they're there anymore, are they? You don't hear voices coming from the study. And Evan's here. So I think I missed that. Let me try something. Are you still here? You're still here. And no one is here. And right now, no one is here. Freaking waste basket. There isn't anything in the waste paper basket. Open drawer. Search drawer. The drawer is empty. Close drawer. Curious, very curious. Okay. Okay. We're gonna reload helping with the dishes here because I don't know. If there's anything in the wastebasket. Examine the kettle. Your eyes water and the loop fogs up from the steam pouring out of the kettle. You can't really examine it more closely. Move kettle. Turn stove off. That course of action yields no result. Examine stove. Look at stove. There's a kettle on the stove. Okay, never mind. Take kettle. You take the kettle, but you resolve not to leave the kitchen with you. You can't imagine someone just walking away with your kettle. The blue graniteware kettle has polished brass and wood handle. Steam pours out of its spout. Put kettle down. Put kettle on stove. You return the kettle to the stovetop. It's kind of amazing here. The top cupboard has a variety of plates inside. The cupboard under the sink contains the pipe that drains the sink. The drawers are full of all the random bits and bobs one usually finds in kitchen drawers. There's a saucepan in the cupboard. The saucepan looks pretty old and dented, but still in good working order. I don't know why I need to know this. Wonder if I stand here. Yes. The top cupboard has drinking glasses inside. The bottom cupboard has pots and pans inside. Glasses all look spotlessly clean. Okay. It's very precise depending on where you're standing. It's fascinating, that. You open the bottom cupboard. You open the glass paneled cabinet. There are huge, heavy pots and pans in the bottom cupboard. The glass paneled cupboard contains a couple of decorative plates, a pretty blue mug, and some plainer mugs. Examine mug. You don't have that right now. Look at mug. A mug with a gorgeous blue glaze is sitting in the cupboard. Interesting. Not that we'll need any of this right now, but the level of detail in this game is staggering. Is this an icebox? There's a green glass bottle on the little shelf beside a celadon plate. If you had to guess, you'd say the celadon plate on the shelf above the icebox was Japanese. It really is a gorgeous bit of pottery. The icebox is the mainstay of any well-equipped kitchen. It contains the cool foods. All the cool foods. You open it. The icebox is rock solid and frosty. Okay. Enough of this folderol. Not going to be anyone here, but at least not that I can see immediately. No, we're fine. It is interesting, however, how things change. So let me see. Right. A couple of bits of listening in need to happen. This is a lovely lodge, Mr. Richards, especially this room. My pa did all of this, had nothing to do with me. Glad you like it, though. Ask about plants. What? Ask about lodge. Do you have something? My pa built the place, rock solid. That was back in the days settlers came up here to mine garnets. We already talked about this. Ask about Nathan. We have our differences, but he's a good man. Our families have helped each other a lot over the years. Ask about Nessa. You can't pick your family, you know. Ask about Corvus. Snobby, I'm not surprised Nessa likes him. No, we already had. I think that he already gave that response. He says the lodge is stuffy, so he sits out on the bench outside of the study for fresh air. Really? I find him stuffy, ha! Ask about Margot. She's my gal. Yes, we already had that. Ask about Jack. Jack's a good man, hard worker, quiet. Ask about Kimmy. She's quiet and stays out of the way. She's the opposite of my big sister. Yes, that's right. We had that already. How are you doing? I miss the quiet life. What? My museum sent me to perform a preliminary survey of the area. Plenty of rocks around here, nothing worth much to you brainy types. Everything again. We already had this. Okay. Well, that's I think all we can do with this right now. I mean, we could go outside if we really want to, but let's not do that just yet. I hear voices near this doorway. I wonder what they're talking about. And now we shall listen once again. We already went through this. This is the later conversation. Father's will has to be around here somewhere. Things could be so much easier if we could just find it. If the will can't be found, we might have to proceed as planned. Take our chances. Little gold-digging hussy complicates things. But I'm dealing with her in my own way. We'll talk about that another time. Good night, Mr. Shaw. Good night, madam. A note has been added to your notebook. Nessa can't find a will. Nessa is dealing with Margot. I'm sure everything's going to be fine. We haven't talked to Kimmy again. Which might be. We never asked her about that bridge she was drawing, did we? Maybe we did. I can't remember. That was last time. Let's see. Okay. What time is it? It's 10 after 12. This is a good question. All right. I mean, it says, eavesdrop on the boudoir, which is a thing. Anyone else we want to deal with? Ha ha ha. No, I don't hear anything now. Okay. You have not asked Kimmy about the drawing, at least in this timeline. I will ask her about the drawing, because that might be helpful. It would be selfish to take the whole bowl of Jordan almonds for yourself. You will not need to take the bowl, so leave it alone. You don't have that. See, that's the problem. not benefit from closer examination. Okay, fine. I don't know if that door was open or not. I don't know if it's going to benefit us at all to go outside. My goodness, it's dark as anything out there. I have no need to go out this way right now. Okay. That said... Yeah. Yeah, you're still there. Okay. No one is here now. And I think it was... Just going to check something. Open door. Yeah, okay, same reaction. Okay, no worries. I'm going to leave that open for nefarious reasons. Now I'll close the door. Don't want to disturb anyone. Okay. Let's see. Just like checking here. Make sure we're not hearing anything untoward. Right, yes. I don't know if anything's around here. Storage closet. Go to the east is Albert's room. West is Nessa's bedroom. We're just going to bother him again. Leave me alone, whoever it is, I'm busy. Damn you. You're not going to help us at all. Okay. Jack and Corvus are sharing a bedroom to the east here. And we are in the upper hall. Wrong. Upper hall 4. Gimme. Oh, you're asleep. I wanted to question you, but I could not question you. Gimme is here. Gimme is sound asleep. Okay, never mind. I don't think it's important enough for me to do this right now. So we're just going to go, yeah, but it is getting late, so I'm going to go over here, and we're going to do the thing that we need to do. which is to be nosy. I hear voices near this doorway. I wonder what they're talking about. Here we go. You can hear muffled voices in the boudoir, but the speakers are too far from the door to hear them clearly. Perhaps you could listen at the door with an item that would help. If I can't figure out what to use, maybe someone else would know. Well, I need a glass. And there are plenty of those in a few different places. That's going to take me a little time. Let's see, where's the bar? The bar is like right here, right? Yeah. These glasses don't really serve your purposes. They have such delicate stems. I'm much more comfortable with tumblers. They can be used for all sorts of things, and art is fragile. Okay. Would these do? Stout stems and stubby bases. I don't think that'll help. The way these glasses are made, they aren't useful for much more than drinking. And isn't that enough? Maybe we can find more versatile drinking glasses in the kitchen. Yeah, that's kind of... And now I've forgotten where everything is. Plates, pipes. It's going to be that mug, probably. Drinking glasses. You take your drinking glass from the cupboard. Ah, a drinking glass. These are handy for all sorts of things. I now have a note. Obtain drinking glass for listening at doors. Yes, there we are. There we are. The drinking glass you got from the kitchen. Spotless. Jack is quite fastidious. You admire the brilliant shine of the squeaky clean drinking glass. Okay. Now we will do this. With the help of the drinking glass, you can hear a conversation behind the boudoir door. Let's have a look. Oh, monsieur, you're wonderfully helpful. I cannot thank you enough. I do what I can. Oh dear. Sorry about that, but you know we gotta go slow. The pamphlet says so, right? I have been all night keeping as straight a face as I can through a lot of different things that have been said. But this one got me. The pamphlet says so. Well, if the pamphlet says so. I assume he's helping her with some sort of project. It does, most a pity, but I think it's working. You hear some muffled cries. Shh, Gotta keep it down, especially tonight. So many heirs around. You're right, of course. This must remain a little secret. The voices go silent for a little while. Alright, I think we're done here. I gotta skedaddle before Mr. Richards finishes his drink and comes to bed. Of course. Merci, Jack. Your days and nights are so very long. You got that right, and I'm not done yet. Having all these folks in the lodge, I gotta work that much harder. I'm sure they will be gone soon. Everything will be back to normal. I hope so. Bonne nuit, Jack. Good night. You hear footsteps coming towards the door. Thinking quickly, you duck behind the big blue chest. Well done. Ha ha ha. Wow. After waiting a few minutes, Margot leaves her boudoir and heads downstairs. You manage to sneak across the hall to your bedroom. What a long and interesting night this has been. Outstanding, fantastic detective work, Nancy. You're a natural. Phew, I'm exhausted. What an interesting place this is. It's too bad Kimmy and I have to leave on the train tomorrow. Bridge. Later that night. Welp. I got a little achievement that says Chapter 1 complete. Chapter 2, excursions! Well, I guess I've been worried all this time about how we're going to be able to stay. And it seems that a Deus Ex Machina has taken care of that for us. Okay, Nancy, I'm all ready. Let's go. What was that about leaving in the morning? I wish we could stay here longer. It's such an interesting old place, and such interesting folks. I know what you mean. I can see that you need a minute. I'll meet you at the front door. Thanks, Kimmy. What a peculiar place. Game has auto-saved, which is just as well, because I think this is where we're going to be leaving it. At the beginning of Chapter 2. Because, yes, that's very much is the point where we are. Okay. Just going to leave it on the screen. Thank you all very much for watching. I very much appreciate it. This has been fascinating. I really want to keep playing, but unfortunately, apparently I'm supposed to sleep at some point. How dare they? How dare humanity? How dare they? By they, I mean the people who make up humanity. Require sleep of a person, I tell you. Actually, I think by they, I mean the biology that makes up humanity as well. That's really what it comes down to. Curses. Thank you all so much for watching. This is fun. This is a fun game. I am enjoying myself. And there's all this minutia I keep wanting to look at, but because the thing is, there's so much to look at. You can open, I think, every drawer you come across, practically. And so this has been very cool. As for what we are doing here, let me see. Today is Sunday? Well, it was Sunday until about half an hour ago. So I don't have anything that I can talk about just yet. I mean, I could talk about it, but I can only talk about it in vagary. I will speak in more detail as we get closer to towards the end of the month. We will have more TTRPG stuff happening, but we have to actually. I want to get a little closer to it so that I can speak about it a little bit more relevantly, and make sure that all of the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. But more stuff is going to be happening very soon. As it is, let's see. Nope, I do not have. Ah, right. Yes, we are taking this week off. We ordinarily would be trying to do Planetfall again this week on Thursday, but Lucci is not going to be available. I don't think. I think there's stuff happening. So that's going to be in another couple of weeks. So yeah, aside from that, just playing more of this, or I'll be playing Stranded Sails or Frostpunk, depending on what strikes my fancy, when I have time. And like I said, stuff I'm doing on other channels will happen as soon as we've confirmed that those things are indeed happening. So that's about it. Thank you all again very much for watching. I think when we hit the end card, we're going to go say hi to someone. Feel free to hang on if you're so inclined and say hi to them with us. But in the meantime, folks, I must go collapse. Thanks so much. Please take care. Please remember that you are unique, and that is wonderful, because variety is very important, especially right now. You matter. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you all of a sudden.